embarrassment, shame. I think most women, if we talk about our first menstrual cycle, it was traumatic. Have you ever seen that movie Carrie? And she has her first cycle and it's so traumatic. It was like, oh, she was bleeding in the shower or something, and then she had blood all over her, and and then people were making fun of her, and it was like that was your ushering into womanhood, and it's traumatic, and it's supposed to be a beautiful thing. It's in the ancient world, when a woman had her first menstrual cycle, it was celebrated. It was, like some religions still have, like, the quinceañera, they have the sweet 16. That's what that actually represents, is that you becoming a woman now, you're flowering, and we're going to honor it and celebrate it and help you, right? Whereas I think most girls, there's like, oh, you got your menstrual cycle? Oh, here's some tampons, or here's some, some pads, and it's, or maybe you had an older sister or somebody who you went to versus mom or something, or you just toilet paper, or you know what I mean? Like you just kind of had to you didn't really know what was happening, and you just knew that it was something that like nobody talked about. Not really. Like even in our society today, does anybody ever talk about their menstrual cycle? That's a really interesting part of a woman's life that is like hidden. Aside from like, tampon commercials and stuff like that. We all seen the blue dye on the period pad, right? We've all seen that, and it's not blue, right? But we've all seen the blue dye that, holds your leakage better, and that's about the extent of it. That's about where we end with period stuff and cultures. Of course, if the man had a period, everybody would know about it. Don't you think? I think so. I think if men had periods, they would be everywhere. They would be talking about it. It would be probably very gross, actually, to go to a man's bathroom. Because even you think about a woman's bathroom, I don't know, a long time ago, they used to have like those machines where they had like tampons and pads and stuff, and you could buy that. Do they still have those? No. I haven't seen one of those in forever. Even at the airport, I don't never see those. It's like the period has totally went underground, because at least, when you were, growing up, they had, out, because what if you forget? What if periods come out of the blue? It's early, it's late, it's whatever, and you don't have your stuff. It's kind of, it's a world of secrecy. But that period blood, this is where we get into the magical components of it, is powerful. In the ancient times, they do rituals with that period blood. They put it on the plants to grow. They use it in their workings, if they're working on healings or manifestation, or even in a lot of indigenous tribes, they say, oh well, you can't go to ceremony when you're on your period, or there's a lot of this like stuff around it. Why? Is because when a woman is on her period, she is really powerful. That's why that thing is like shoved under. They don't want you to know that that's powerful. They don't want you to know what you're releasing from your body has the ability to fertilize the earth, and not only fertilize the earth, but change the frequency of the earth. And that's why the elders say the reason why our world is so messed up is because women stopped bleeding on the earth. So when you have your period, if you can collect it, collect that blood and put it on your plants, put it in your prayers, put it in your rituals, even put on your candles. People put on their candles, and watch what happens. Watch what happens when you start igniting the power of your menstrual cycle. Some ladies even collect it. I've even seen ladies collect it in vials, and they put it in their fridge. Hopefully nobody's opening it. What's that? Don't drink it. What's is this cherry juice? No. But yeah, they do. Like women who know, they do. They collect it and then they use it in their workings. They use it in their healings. They use it in their manifestations. They use it in whatever they're doing because they know it's powerful. They use it to enhance and make their spiritual powers more like, you know, boom. Because think about it. How do you feel when you're on your cycle? Very sensitive, right? Like everything's heightened. And you're like, I don't want to be bothered because everything's so intense. So imagine your first period. That was your first power. And then now when you meet other women and young girls, you can help them with that because that's a traumatic experience and it shouldn't be. Because with changing women in those, and they still do these puberty rites. And I feel like one of the things that we as women have to bring back for the next generation is these rites, is these rituals, is these expressions of womanhood that are gone. We don't have these ways in the mainstream, and how life-changing it would be for a young girl that when she had her first period, she celebrated it. She celebrated it because, in the old days, a woman, and you've probably done this before, a woman could change her period. You know how like usually women bleed on the new moon or full moon? Like think about your cycle. Are you a new moon or a full moon? Right? And you kind of know, like it's that 28-day cycle, right? Which is a whole moon cycle. Like if you wanted to conceive a certain baby at a certain time, women would change when they bleed. And that's documented in history.